Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and you're watching the Morning Forecast Show. Whether you're watching live or you're watching later on, please do make sure the first thing you do is hit that like button and subscribe. What we're looking at today, we're forecasting forward. Again, morning forecast. We're looking to see what's happening later on in the day and tomorrow. Well, XRP is slipping before the Japanese rate hike. We are very confident now that we're going to get a rate hike from Japan. When is that going to happen? Well, it'll be late tomorrow, so Thursday night around 11 p.m. Eastern time. That's about 3:30 UK time. The press conference is about 4 hours after that. We will hopefully be covering some of that tomorrow. We're going to see what we can do timing wise. But what we're going to make sure we do tomorrow is really lay out everything you need to know. So today's more of a Q&A for you guys. Let me answer all your questions about XRP, the Japanese rate hike. I'm going to dive into it a little bit, but tomorrow is when our full research on this will be released in the newsletter. First link in the description. It is a cheat sheet, but it's slightly different because it's not as simple as a UK as a UK FOMC or a US FOMC day. Because the language is different, it's harder to trade. But you can still take away a lot from that cheat sheet. It is a cheat sheet, but it's more also an information sheet. That will all be coming out in the newsletter tomorrow. We've also got silver smashing all-time highs today, which is quite incredible where it is. This is what we've been thinking would happen for the last 2 years, and this is right on track with our timeline. And we've also got an IPO today. Medline IPOing today. That's going to be with Martyn after this. So let's get into the carry trade. Let's get into Japanese interest rates. Remember, tomorrow is the big day where the full research comes out. If you are watching later, how do you get that research? Well, it's in the live chat right now. You get 25% off. It's also the first link in the description. So thank you for tuning in. If you've just tuned in now, please hit that like button, subscribe. Let's go over to today's newsletter and let's get ready for this. So in about 10 minutes time, I'm going to ask everyone to leave their questions, and then we're just going to go through your questions and do a bit of Q&A. Let's just line up what's coming out of the news today. We've got Meta X skyrocketing. That's about a 700% debut on the Chinese stock market in Shanghai. What's happened there? It's an AI company, a chip maker. It IPO'd and jumped 700%. It's an unprofitable startup, but now it's valued at 43 billion. So that's how hot AI is right now, especially in China. They're trying to catch up with the US. We've got California ultimatum for Tesla. They could be banning Tesla for, I think it's a month. We've got UK inflation plunge shocks. We've got inflation in the UK dropping. It's good. We've got unemployment going up, which is not good. Inflation dropping, which is good. But unemployment going up is good for the markets to an extent. We've got a massive jump in the FTSE this morning. The reason I talk about the UK, I know a lot of people here don't care about the UK, and most people here are from the US, but it does give us a good indication. I mean, that the economics behind all of this is the same. What can we extrapolate from the UK inflation data? Well, we can extrapolate a lot, because tomorrow morning, if you're going to tune in with me in the morning forecast show, we've got CPI data coming out. So essentially, 2 days ago, we had UK unemployment data come out, 5.1%. It was a shock towards the upside. Then we had inflation data come out, shock towards the downside. What that really actually means is an injection of liquidity into the markets. And how do we know that's good for the markets? Well, this morning the FTSE was up 1.5%. So you don't want the economy to break. You don't want unemployment to go to 5.5%, 6%, and trigger a recession. But if you are an investor in the stock market, remember the stock market isn't the economy. If unemployment goes up, inflation comes down, rate cuts come in, as long as it's not an emergency rate cut, but it is rate cuts that weren't priced in. What you get is the stock market going up. So, for example, right now in the US, we've only got one more rate cut. We've got one rate cut priced in for 2026. The market is actually pricing in more rate cuts, but the Fed is saying with their dot plot, there's only one more rate cut. If there's actually only going to be one more rate cut, the market will fade, and we wouldn't have quite an amazing 2026. However, if unemployment goes up, which is crazy to say, because you would say if unemployment's going up, the economy's in bad shape, and the market won't like it. In fact, if inflation comes down tomorrow with the CPI data we get from the US, unemployment's already gone up on Tuesday. Yesterday we covered it. If we've still got that going on, unemployment going up slightly, inflation coming down, what that means to the Fed is we've got inflation under control. We need to control the economy. Let's have rate cuts. And when you have rate cuts, you just inject money into the stock market essentially. That alongside QE, that's sort of what the market looks for. The economy doesn't want unemployment to go up. The market does to an extent. You don't want a recession, but you want unemployment going up so that money gets injected into the system. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the UK, we've got the perfect storm now for the economy. No, sorry, not for the economy, for the stock market. We had unemployment up, inflation dropping, FTSE skyrocketing. That's what we want to expect from tomorrow with CPI in the US. What we want to see is inflation down. Inflation down means they can cut rates. Unemployment up means that they should cut rates. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please do hit that like button and subscribe if you've just come in. Remember, there's another additional like button. If you already hit the like button and you're annoyed at me saying, I've already hit the like button. Well, you haven't hit the like button on the live chat. On the live chat next to the super chat button, there is a reaction button and you can press the love hearts there. You can also celebrate there as well. So if everyone can double tap the screen on the reactions as well, that's another way you can hit the like button. We've also got Trump blocking Venezuelan oil. WBD picks Netflix deal. We've got Warner Bros. There. Board rejects Paramount's high offer favoring Netflix. This is an exclusive story that's just come out. We've got this whole Netflix deal and Warner Bros. Deal going on in the background. Now we're back to Netflix acquiring them. And then we've got Medline launches record IPO, largest 2025 listing, raises 6.3 billion to repay debt and test market appetite. Martyn is going to be covering that after today's morning forecast show. So look out for that, the biggest IPO of the year. Let's get into the one big thing. Again, everything taken from our very own newsletter. Go and check it out. The leverage trap. Speculative mania is inflating asset prices, ranging from gold to collectibles. Yet the leverage fueling the artificial intelligence boom poses the most severe systematic risk. Corporations are on track to spend nearly 1.6 trillion annually on data centers by 2030, despite a lack of a proven profit model. This rapid infrastructure expansion relies increasingly on opaque private credit and aggressive debt financing rather than on balance sheet cash. The market is effectively wagering borrowed capital on an unproven technology. If AI adoption stalls, this accumulation of debt would trigger a broader economic collapse. We have shifted dangerously from a legitimate innovation to a fragile casino economy. Why have I put that in the newsletter? I've put that as the one big thing. I just want to make people aware to the risks of bubbles. I personally wouldn't class this the same as a dot-com bubble. I wouldn't class this the same as 2008. But it's certainly something bubble-like. We've got bubble-like behavior going on. The amount of money going into this AI infrastructure without having a proven profit model is certainly concerning. Most likely, what will happen is we'll go up, we will have short-term corrections, companies go bust, companies accelerate, that always happens, and maybe we just go sideways and have small corrections. However, there is a certain scenario here where we get severely overheated and we do have a significant crash and everyone panics, retail panics, carry trade unfolds. We've got people severely leveraged, not even only people, we've got institutions, we've got companies severely leveraged, borrowing massive amounts of money that's never been seen before. The 1.6 trillion annually is being spent on data centers without a proven profit model. If anything breaks between now and then, these people are going to default on their loans, and that's when we can have 50, 60% crashes in the stock market. 40, 50, 60% crashes in the stock market. And I'm not here to say this is definitely going to happen or sell everything until this day comes. I'm more here saying, let's keep an eye on this. I personally, like Martyn, money and bonds. Not all my money. I like to be invested most of the time, but money and bonds, money on the side. When I say I've got money in cash, it's not just cash. It's sat in money markets, in bonds, giving me a yield so that I can take advantage of situations like this. If we do have a 50% correction, I would be so annoyed with myself that I wouldn't be able to buy the bottom. And that's why I always have money on the side. Same with XRP. I've got money on the side to buy it at $1.70, $1.50, $1.70. I don't think it's going to go to 70 cents, but I'm going to make sure I'm able to buy XRP at 70 cents if it goes there. Same with this massive AI spend. I don't think we're going to blow up into a bubble like 2000, but if we do, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be able to buy when on the way down, whether it's 50% down or 60% down. I want to be able to buy it at a significant discount if it does happen. So I am just opening your eyes up to this leverage trap, this massive over leveraging on AI and data center spend. It is extraordinary. And it's slightly concerning. Most likely will be fine, but there is a more than significant chance that it could collapse at some point. 10%, 20%, 30% chance, 20%. Even if it's a 20% chance, you want to be prepared for it. Anyway, that's the one big thing today. Read that again. It's slightly scary. We'll do more deep dives on it. This was just to grab your attention on that one big thing. Let's go over to the number that matters. 30. Bank of Japan is expected to hike interest rates to a 30-year high this Friday. Policymakers aim to curb 3% inflation and stabilize the yen before external economic headwinds from US tariffs intensify further. Main thing to take away here is, why is the Japan interest rate so important? Well, because we're heading to 30-year highs. This Friday, Thursday if in the US, Friday if you're in Japan or the UK, we're going to be expecting the highest interest rate in Japan for 30 years. That's why it's so significant. And obviously, imagine Japan as a 0% credit card. Everyone would come here, and even if they just bought the dollar and grabbed a 4% yield on it, they were making a lot of money. Now it's no longer a free credit card. It costs money. It's no longer interest free. That's the basics of it. And if it keeps going up and people expect it to go higher, then all that money borrowed, trillions of dollars we're talking about, will unwind. Liquidations around the world. If you want my thoughts on it, do I think it's going to happen this Friday? I think we're back. I apologize about that. Are we back? I think. Let me know in the chat. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Let me know in the chat. Are we back? Yeah, we are. Yes. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Yolanda. Not sure what happened there. I apologize. If you want my thoughts on what's going to happen, very baseline thoughts. Remember, yesterday I started conducting research on this. About 4 hours yesterday, up in London with the team. Now, today is going to be the final part of that research. We're going to spend another 7 hours on this today, and then we're going to formulate it all for you tomorrow. But from my initial research, I don't think we're going to have a crash on Friday. Not caused by this. I think it's a real concern what's going on with Japan and the amount of the trillions of dollars that have been borrowed. But I don't think it's this week where it all unwinds. It can be. It certainly can be. What would cause it to do that? Well, it's less about the interest rate going up. We already know that. Most market participants are prepared for that. What they're not prepared for is a 0.5% hike, which would certainly cause some real problems. What they're not prepared for is a hold, which will actually boost the markets if we don't get a hike. But what we don't know those two options are pretty unlikely to have a zero point 0.5 or a hold. They're still scenarios, and they're not near zero scenarios, but they are still scenarios. But what's sort of a bit more likely to happen is, what's he going to say in that speech? Unfortunately, he speaks in Japanese, so we won't know from before, so we won't be able to really cover it. And um, I'm trying to look at live translation softwares to do it. But yeah, he's going to speak in Japanese, so we can't really be able to figure out what he's saying there and then. But you want to just be prepared for it. So the whole point of the newsletter tomorrow is to get you prepared for the different scenarios. But again, what my thoughts are is, if he says something like, we are expecting to raise rates to 1.5% or 2%, or expecting to continue these rate hikes for a while, that's when the market will go, wait, that's too many rate hikes. That's not what we've priced in. That's not what we're prepared for. That's when you can get a proper carry trade unwind. Right now, with the information at hand, just a rate hike and a normal press conference with no real guidance, in my opinion, wouldn't cause a crash. And for that reason, I'm not selling for the carry trade. I'm out of the market to an extent because of the overheatedness of the market, because I don't see too much value in the Mag 7 right now. If I'm looking at anything, I'm looking at the Russell and certain stocks within it to grab that value. I'm looking at potentially crypto on a big dip to buy as a trade on the way up. Um, I'm concerned about the market in general, but not specifically about the carry trade this week. I am prepared for the carry trade to unwind this week with specific comments or specific policy decisions, but I don't think the carry trade. I don't think the carry trade. The carry trade is always unwinding slightly, but I don't think there's going to be a mass unwinding this week. And for that reason, I'm staying within. I'm not changing my strategy based off the carry trade. I'm still invested in XRP. I've still, as always, prepared for a 50, 60, 70, 80% correction on XRP. Don't think that will happen this week at all, but I'm still prepared for it because I'm prepared for it long term. So I'm still, let's say, 80% invested on my XRP, 20% on the side. In the stock market, I'm 50% invested, 50% in bonds. I've got my gold, I've got my silver. That's part of my invested assets, and that's going up. And we're going to talk about silver in a second. So I've got this diversified portfolio with cash equivalents on the side to take advantage whether a carry trade unwinds this week or doesn't. I've got cash on the side to take advantage of the AI bubble bursting or not bursting. I've got cash on the side to pick up stocks that I think are undervalued, like something like SBCE. I'm out the market with SBC right now. However, if I see it form a bottom, I might take a risk on it and allocate 1% or 2% of my portfolio to it, because I think that's better value than maybe Google trading at 50 times earnings. I'm picking numbers out the sky here, but hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to come over to your questions in a second. These are our top movers this week. Of course, Canopy Growth is up there as well. We've got cannabis stocks all over the place. MetaX IPO exploding. That's a new AI stock in China. Pre-revenue up 700% in a day. Again, are we in an AI bubble? Who knows? I don't think we're in the same sense as 2000, but it's still worth considering how much money is being pumped into it and how much debt is being taken out. This is not money from their profits just being put in. This is just debt financing to build AI data centers. We've got the Tesla 30-day ban. We've got, again, if you've just tuned in, please do hit that like button and subscribe. Tomorrow is going to be another big day, not only because of the carriage, not only because of Bank of Japan interest rates, it's also US CPI. We had UK unemployment go up a couple days ago. We've had UK inflation go down. Oh, we've got a super chat coming in with a special guest. Thank you very much. Let's listen in.
At Iberian Wolf 3682 donated £10 through a super chat. Hi Sensei, can you analyze Coinbase? I'm heavily invested in it since October. Ouch, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm heavily invested in since October. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. The stock's gone down since then. I think the first time, and I'm not meaning to brag here, I think when I super chatted Martin, I said buy Coinbase. I think Coinbase was about $30, and it went all the way up to, I don't know, $400. I haven't looked at Coinbase personally to buy it until we come closer to $100 or below it. But let me have a look at that in a second. Thank you so much for your super chat. So 2 days ago, or sorry, yesterday, the UK reported unemployment. Unemployment was up. Today we had UK inflation. Inflation was down. Perfect storm for a market. Not perfect storm for the economy with unemployment going up, but the economy and the market and the stock market are different. So what we've got here is a perfect storm, and that's why the FTSE is up 1.5%. 2 days ago, we had unemployment go up 0.1%. Not that concerning, really. Actually, the data was actually more. If you looked at the other bits of data, not just the unemployment figure, the other data didn't actually require any cuts. It was actually more. All in all, the data from a couple of days ago was very neutral. There wasn't an incline to have more rate cuts. There wasn't an incline to pause it. It was very neutral, that the whole data, because the spending was up and everything like that. So what we want to see actually is inflation come down from the US. And if we get inflation come down in the US tomorrow, that boosts rate cut expectations. Right now, we're only pricing in one rate cut in 2026, or actually that's what the Fed has said. If we don't, if we only just get one rate cut, the market's not going to like it. So we need a perfect storm for rate cuts to happen. That would mean inflation coming down and unemployment slowly ticking up and then coming under control. We've got Trump ordering a total blockade on Venezuelan oil. Again, this is all from newsletter. We're going to have the full carry trade coverage and special report coming out tomorrow. That is on the newsletter. You can right now get 25% off. We got Warner Bros. Rejecting Paramount's deal. Looks like it's back to Netflix. We've got a whole deep dive today on the Medline breakout, mechanics of 2025's largest IPO. Martyn will be covering this straight after the show in about half an hour. Our special coverage on Medline's IPO will be starting on Martyn's show. You can get a head start on that by reading that in the deep dive today. Today's chart of the day was about Bitcoin, so go check out today's newsletter. What we're going to do is come over to your Q&A in just a second. Let me just set the stage with an article from Reuters and CoinDesk about Japanese interest rates, and then obviously you're going to get our special coverage, which will be way more in detail and way more beneficial to you guys than just a surface level approach here from Reuters and CoinDesk. But again, we're in the middle of compiling a 15-hour report. So 15 hours of research probably it'll probably just actually be a 7-minute read at the end of the day. But anyway, so the rate decision is due at 3:30 to 5 o'clock GMT. They've actually got that wrong. Reuters have got it wrong. It's it's crazy. They get these things wrong. It's actually between 2:30 and 3:30. The reason why it's between specific times is because in Japan, they don't have a set time where the decision comes out. They go into a meeting room, they debate. The longer it takes for them to deliberate, the more nervous the market gets, and at a certain time they come out. We've compiled a list of the different times it's come out. I think it's between 2:30 and 3:30 UK time. Once it was an anomaly to the upside, once it was an anomaly to the downside. So we're expecting between 2:30 and 3:30 for that decision to come out, most likely 3 o'clock GMT. So if you take that back 5 hours, that would be 3 what was that, 10 p.m. US to 10 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Are we okay? That was strange. I think we're back. So yeah, around that sort of time will be the initial rate decision. What we will get in that document will be if they've raised rates, cut rates, or how much they've raised them by. Obviously, we're expecting a 0.25% increase. It can be a 0.5% increase, and it can be a hold. We also understand how many people voted for it and against it. We'll see how much, if they were all on the same page or if not. And we'll see how long it takes. The longer it takes, the more nervous the market gets, because that means they're debating a lot. So those are the three things we can take away from it. And then about 5 hours later, we'll have the press conference from the Bank of Japan governor, Governor Udia. It'll be 3.5 hours after the announcement. Most likely we'll get the brief to the media. So yeah, the Bank of Japan is set to raise interest rates on Friday to a 3-decade high and pledge to keep hiking borrowing costs closer to the year, closing this year with 2 rate hikes, despite headwinds from the US tariffs and an inauguration of a dovish prime minister. And that dovish prime minister is sort of playing against their Federal Reserve. They've got a prime minister that's just all about spending, and a governor that's trying to sort out their debt issue. And while a hike still keeps its policy rate low by global standards, it will mark another landmark step in Governor Kazui's uh, Uda's efforts to normalize monetary policy in a country long accustomed to unconventional easing and near zero rates. While stubbornly high food, look at this. This is why I don't like other news articles. They're just full of ads. They get information wrong, and this is what's this? This is Reuters. They've got the timing wrong. They've got ads every single second. It's not easy to understand. There's no images. There's no charts. Oh, but yeah, I just want to give you an idea before our special report comes out tomorrow. So, with stubbornly high food costs keeping inflation above its 2% target for nearly 4 years, the Bank of Japan is widely expected to raise short-term interest rates to 0.75% from 0.5% at a 2-day policy meeting ending on Friday. And bearing in mind, I pay for Reuters as well, so I'm paying, and there's still all of these ads. The central bank will also stress its resolve to continue raising interest rates through a pace dependent on how the economy reacts to each increase. There is no gap in the view on the economy between the government and Bank of Japan Finance Minister Sekusuke Katayama told reporters on Tuesday, signaling the administration's tolerance for a hike to 0.75%. Any such move would underscore Bank of Japan's growing conviction that Japan was making progress in sustaining a cycle of rising inflation accompanied by solid wage gains, a prerequisite it set for pushing up borrowing costs. In a rare ad hoc poll released on Monday, the Bank of Japan said that most of its branch offices expect firms to continue bumper wage hikes next year due to intensifying labor shortages. I'll break this down in tomorrow's newsletter as well. We're sort of in a spiral of potential high wage hikes, but high inflation as well. I'll break that down in tomorrow's newsletter. With Uda having essentially pre-committed to a December hike in a speech earlier this month, markets are focusing on what signals the governor could drop on future rate hike path at his post-meeting news conference. So again, this is my thoughts. I don't think we're going to crash based off the fact we're just having a rate hike. It is, in the simplest sense, priced in. Now, I don't want to throw around that term and pretend it's a one term means all, and priced in is just nothing can happen on Thursday/Friday. That's not the way I want to use the word priced in. But in the simplest sense, if we just get a 0.75% rate cut, nothing meaningful in the speech, no other indication, at that point, it's priced in, the markets won't move. If, however, one example of it not being priced in is what's not priced in is what that speech entails.
I can't believe this.
Oh, we've got a new member on the show. Look at this.
Has become a member.
Thank you for becoming a member ahead of tomorrow's coverage. So yeah. Well, yeah. So what's not priced in is what he's going to say in that speech. If he starts saying we're going to start moving interest rates up and up and up closer to what the US is, 2%, 3%, that's when that carry trade unwind is going to be horrific. If it's just nothing said, 0.75% hike, we will continue to look at this data by data, and we'll take it one at a time. Then the market's not going to react, and at that point, the market actually might pump, and that's why I don't want to be out the market. That's why, if you're a long-term investor, that's not covering the markets every day, and you don't know what you're doing, because at that point, you should just be investing in the market and buying the dips. If you know more, like, for example, Martyn, still a long-term investor, still an investor, but he likes to improve his position as he goes on. So for most people, option one's the best, because you're just long-term invested. You don't have to decide when you buy back in, because remember, when you sell, when are you going to buy back in? If you sell now expecting a crash on Friday, well, if the crash doesn't come, there's no certainty that we're going to have a crash on Friday. In fact, the most likely scenario is we won't have a massive crash, in my opinion anyway. What are you going to do? Are you going to buy back in higher? Are you going to panic? Buy back in? It's probably going to go back down later on, but you're going to panic because nothing's happened. You're going to buy back in higher, then you're going to panic sell when we do crash further along the line. It's just going to be a mess, and most people should just be in and buy if it drops. Again, that's my opinion. Unless you've got very good experience in the market, and that way you can improve your position. That's how Martyn's achieved, what was it, 40% growth for year to date. Anyway, let's continue. With UDIA having essentially pre-committed to a December hike in a speech earlier this month, markets are focusing on what signals the governor will drop about future rate hike path and his post-meeting news conference. Bank of Japan policymakers have signaled their intent to tread cautiously as they push rates closer to levels deemed neutral to the economy, which the central bank estimates as in a range of 1 to 2.5%. But UDIA also faces pressure to drop hawkish signals to avoid triggering a fresh bout of yen declines that push up import costs and broader inflation. Yeah, it's not really a fight against inflation, it's a fight against their currency being devalued and their import costs going up, a little bit of inflation, and the fact that the tariffs could get worse for them. While a weak yen boosts exporter profits, it could prod retailers to pass on costs and raise prices, adding strain to households already suffering from sliding real wages. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I think it's enough of that, and I want to answer your comments ahead of tomorrow's coverage of the carry trade / Bank of Japan increase. So drop me your comments, talk about XRP. One thing I'm going to say is please don't believe the fact that XRP is going to pump to the moon, because it's going to be the one that's going to be the one that facilitates all the reverse carry trade. Please don't. Do some research and just debunk that. You can do that in 1 second. Go to AI. Sometimes the reason a lot of people say, wow, your newsletter is just AI, and I say, go and try and create this whole newsletter with AI. If you manage to do it, I'll pay you a large amount of money to do it for me. Anyway, the reason I say to go to AI because it's the simplest thing. I mean, even AI can by itself debunk that news that sentiment. XRP is not going to pump because the reverse carry trade occurs. So please don't believe that narrative. If anything, if there's going to be a carry trade, XRP is going to drop 50%. So please be careful of that narrative. Let me go over here to the live chat. Let's see who's here. Oh, we've got Martyn in the chat. Let me just read Martyn's comments first. Proof of front-running algo trading. Drop on VU and up on Coca-Cola. That's why I'm scalp heavy trading into Coca-Cola, making around 1,000 a day. So if we crash and I'm in an asset I'm happy to own, I'm compensated even if we fall. There we go. Thank you, Martyn. Let's go over to your Q&A. Guys, please ask me the questions. If you think it's too dumb of a question, just ask it. It's better to just ask than worry. I'll do my best to answer. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. Paxo Gold.
At Nick Jones 106 donated £4.99 through a super chat. Thoughts on Paxo Gold TA, fundamentals, PAC?
Thank you very much, Nick Jones. Thank you for being a special guest on the show. Paxo Gold. I mean, isn't that just gold? Yeah. Paxo Gold. Yeah, no, it's a stable coin. It's a gold-backed stable coin. So essentially, would I buy Paxo? I mean, if I wanted easy exposure to gold, maybe. But what would I probably do? I'd probably buy the ETF in a tax advantage account, a gold ETF, or I would go buy the physical gold. I'm not sure of the full safety of this asset, but essentially, if you didn't know, it's just the stable coin that tracks gold's price. There's no need to do TA on it. We've done TA on gold before. I expect gold to go to $10,000 potentially next year, or continue in this bull market. My next target's probably around $5,000 for gold, but that's the same. This is just a cryptocurrency replicating what gold's price is. I just forgot we had while everyone's putting their questions in, we did have a chart request on Coinbase as well. So let me quickly have a look at Coinbase. If you have just tuned in, please do hit that like button and subscribe. So Coinbase, Oof, you bought in October, so October it would have been close to $350. What would again? I don't give financial advice, so I won't tell you what to do with that position. If I'm just looking at this fresh from today, what would I be doing? Remember, this is one of the trades we took. Firstly, we bought it at $30. Secondly, we took a trade at $61, all the way up to $350, and that was one of our best trades of this last year, I think. Anyway, do upward sloping trend line is probably what I'd focus on. Where would I? Yeah, there's support. If I really wanted to start entering a position, I'd start around $210. The upward sloping trend line will probably be around $186. So my first purchase will be between $180 and $210. My next purchase will be around $150. And if we go into a really severe bear market, I want to be buying this at $82. Do I think it'll go to $82? Not unless we have a major situation in crypto. Or with Coinbase themselves getting sued or something like that. So yeah, I would say you've got a fair amount of strong support between 180 and 210. I think you will come down to 210. I think you will. I think you are in a downtrend. It doesn't look like you're bottoming yet on Coinbase, so prepare for some more downside. Um, you're I would say there's a 50% chance you come all the way down to $145. I say really good chance you come down to $210, but there's good support between 180 and 210. And there's a good chance that you might bottom out at maybe $150. Really bad situation in crypto, you have to be prepared for something like $100 as well. Morning, Brian. Morning, Michelle. Hello, Yolanda. Hello, human being. Hello, Leo. Leon. Hello, Daddy Pascal. Hello, human being Liz. Hello, Paul D. Hello, Bitcoins Craig. Hello, Urban. Hello, Mutt Lee. Hello, Potato Family. Not sure what to do. I know XRP. I know what XRP is, but in your opinion, not sure what to do. I know what XRP is, but in your opinion, should we hold or sell XRP? If so, are you afraid that it will drop big? I don't know what's right for you. All I know is if you're someone who's, and this applies to everyone watching the show right now, if you're someone who's really nervous about their XRP position and you're on the edge, shall I buy, shall I sell? And you're always thinking, I'm going to FOMO into XRP, I'm going to panic sell XRP, I'm really scared if XRP drops 50%. You don't have the correct position in XRP. Right now, with my XRP, I'm so calm about it. I don't care if it drops 90%. I mean, it will be a bad day in the market. I'll be annoyed. I'll look at my portfolio and go, wow, I wish I sold. But actually, I'm prepared for it, and I'm not that bothered about it right now. Why? Well, because I have absolutely no sleepless nights about my crypto positions, and I'm heavily in crypto in terms of portfolio percentage of portfolio, and percentage of my living is heavily in crypto. But I'm prepared for it to go down 80-90%. Why? Well, because I know what I've invested in. I've invested in a heavily volatile, one of the most volatile assets out there, crypto, that historically goes down 90% in bear markets. XRP does the same. Anyway, the main point is also because I'm prepared to buy. I would actually be slightly excited. I'll say, wow, this is an opportunity and I'll buy. If you're sat there concerned, shall I buy? Shall I sell? Am I FOMOing in? Am I panic selling? You've probably got too much invested and you're not comfortable with it, or you don't really know what you're owning. In relation to the second, because I can't give you financial advice, I can't say sell your XRP, buy it when it hits $1.50, or hold your XRP, it's never going to go below $2, because I'm not a fortune teller, I don't know. So should you hold or sell your XRP if you are afraid? If you are afraid it will drop, if you personally are scared it's going to drop big, that in itself shouldn't make you sell. But if there's a specific reason why you're afraid, like you can't afford for it to drop big, or you're over leveraged and you can't afford to lose that money, then you shouldn't have been invested in the first place, and you shouldn't be invested right now. My personal opinion for XRP right now, I've said it before, 60% chance we're in a bear market, 70% chance if we're in a bear market, we're probably going to go down to $1.50, 50% chance we'll go down to $1. I'm prepared for both of that. I'm also 40% chance we will turn things around in 2026 and continue in a bull market and go to $5 and then $10. 50% chance we hit $50 and $100 in 5 years' time. We've got a special guest on the show.
Marty donated £2 through a super chat. I'll keep buying on the way down. Long-term gains.
Good luck to you, C. Marty. That's what I will do, but again, I can afford to do it. Make sure I don't want anyone to be over leveraged. C. Marty, congratulations to you. David Hensley says, how are you two lovely ladies doing? Can't tell you guys how happy I am to have to get a female's perspective. Either way, glad you guys are here. Yeah, Yolanda's an amazing supporter of the channel, and Liz is here all the time as well. Rhino Skin says, hi, Dave, human being, Liz. Oh, David, at work today because I hurt my hand because I get hurt my hand by a client and his chair. So I took off for myself in my boss. Sorry to hear that you've hurt your hand, Liz. Did a client do that to you? I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. Brian says, Sensei, what bonds do you have invested in 212? I'm going to do a whole deep dive on bonds when the portfolio challenge begins. But essentially right now, it's probably when you have uninvested cash in trading 212, they are automatically assigning bonds to you. That's why their rate's pretty high. 4.25%, I think, or dropped down to 4. Yolanda says, yes, I'm looking at corporate bonds as well because you can get higher yields. I'm looking at all sorts. Martin's just put something pinned up here. So MDLN IPO live in 15 minutes. However, I'm in hospital with Leah, so there is a countdown on the screen to watch. MDLN live price. I'll be back before the IPO goes public. Thank you for updating. I didn't get a mess. Thank you, Martin, for updating everyone with that. Let me see what we can do for that. Yolanda says, yes. A says, we are good. We're back. Oh, yeah, that's when we dropped out. Crypto will be rising. If anything, what time in the UK will you be covering it? I'm gonna do special coverage tomorrow throughout the day, hopefully. I'm going to be talking to Martin about exactly how we do it. But yeah, I think there'll be special coverage throughout the day, building up into it. And then the actual event, that's still to be decided. As long as you're subscribed to the channel, you'll get your notification, and also we'll be covering it throughout the day and we'll have an idea. It will be probably the rate decision itself. I'll probably be live at 2:30 a.m. UK time. What's that in US? 10:30, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hi Sensei, can you please analyze coin? Yes, we had a quick look at that. XRP and XLM. Songs of Space says, look at that VU red candle. That VU red candle. Nothing on the daily. It doesn't seem to have moved at all. Let's go on to the 5-minute. You'll probably talk about this. Yeah, we've just got a sell-off on the S&P 500. Looking at support over here over the last 10 minutes. Down 0.23%. That's an old clip of Jamie Dimon. Sensei, can you briefly give an overview what the extreme fear indicator means in your morning forecast and what the implications are? Is it bullish when this flips? It's about 5 different indicators in one. People use it differently. People like to see it. Some people have a strategy when every time it's an extreme fear, they buy, and every time it's extremely bullish, they sell, which over time, I guess, kind of works, but not really, because you can be in extreme fear. It's like if I bring up all these indicators for you, let me just bring up this overview for you. If I go over to this screen for a second and bring this up on the screen. Yeah, so these are the sort of metrics you'll see in it. Just a quick Google search will tell you. I don't have them all on the. Oh, that's made my camera go weird. Let me change the screen. Yeah, I don't know all the indicators off by heart, but I don't use it in that sense. I just use it to see what the market um I use it as its own indicator, even though it's like 5 indicators of one. I use it a bit differently. I'll tell you how I use it in a second, but this is sort of what's in it. So again, the 0 to 24 is extreme fear, 25 to 49 is fear, 50 is neutral, 51 to 74 is greed, 75 to 100 is extreme greed. So essentially, this is how I look at it. If it's at 0 to 24, investors are worried, we might be in a market bottom. 25 to 49, investors are cautious and pessimistic. 50, they're neutral. 51 to 74, it's greed, investors are getting optimistic. Could be a sign of overbuying. And then 75 to 100, overexcitement often signals a market top or pullback risk. I don't take it exactly like that. So for example, if I see it at 0 to 24, I would start looking at potential opportunities in the market, but also understanding that's between 0 and 24 is the most likely time it's going to continue going down, and you're going to have big moves towards the downside. Just like 75 to 100, that's probably when you're in the peak of a bull market and you're going to have compounding gains. So it doesn't just mean, in my opinion, if it's extreme fear, buy in and it's not going to go any lower and we've bottomed out. It actually probably means this is the time where we go down the most. At 75 to 100, it's actually doesn't mean sell, we're about to top out. It actually means we will top out between the 75 to 100 range, but it doesn't automatically mean sell, because it's just like the RSI. It just means the momentum is on your side and you're going to continue to the upside. So you have to be careful using it, but it's just a great way to just visualize what the market sentiment is on that day, so that you can so that you're going into that day knowing what the sentiment is in the market. So how's it calculated? It uses volatility, how much volatility there is in the market momentum, and how much volume there is, social media sentiment, Bitcoin dominance, Google trends. But yeah, you just use it to just another tool in the toolbox. What is the sentiment today? How is the market feeling today? Is everyone greedy or is everyone fearful? And that's, you'll start to understand sort of the sentiment in the market. It's not trade based off it. It's just some people do and some people want to trade off it. But I personally just use it as another tool in my toolbox just to understand what sort of market I'm walking into that day. Again, that's in the newsletter. If you want the newsletter, that's actually part of the free section of the newsletter. You'll get that every day to your inbox. Let me give you that link. I don't think Martyn's going to be live in a second, so that might mean I can go over. Well, let me send a message to Martyn. Can I? I'm just sending that off. Is the okay? Let me go back to where we're doing a bit of a Q&A now. This all sounds Clavish AF. Some of his points could actually totally play out. This what? Some of his points could totally play out and move the needle on XRP. What are you talking about? Are you saying XRP can pump because of this? Dry powder is key for Friday. Yeah, having some dry powder making. Yeah, we've covered that comment from Martyn. Ricardo says, is the rate hike priced in? In the simplest sense, yes, the rate hike is priced in. If that's the question, I'll give you the answer. Yes, the rate hike is priced in the simplest sense. Yes. Thoughts on Paxo? It's just gold, so you can do the TA on gold. And is it my favorite way of buying it? It might be the cheapest way of buying it. I just wouldn't really. I mean, there's an ISA in the UK. You can buy a gold ETF there. You can buy capital gains tax free coins in the UK, sovereigns, half sovereigns, ounces. That's probably prefer both of those options rather than buying the cryptocurrency Paxos. Gold. Sensei may not be the most bullish price targets. Sensei may not be the most bullish with his price targets, but it's trusted and realistic, and I'm positive that investing in crypto is going to be very profitable. Maybe 2 to 4x rather than 500x. Yeah. I mean, it's still brilliant, isn't it? I mean, what you can earn, what is it, 15%, maybe 20%, maybe 10%, maybe 8% a year on the S&P 500. But what's Bitcoin's returns a year? 1,000%? Or what's XRP's returns over the last year? 200%? MDLN. But again, I don't think you should just go all in crypto. I don't think it's just that easy because there's a lot of more emotional trading with crypto. MDLN IPO live in 15 minutes. However, I'm in the hospital with Leah. All our thoughts are with Martyn and Leah. We wish them all the best. Where hopefully everything is okay, and our love and prayers go to Leah for a speedy recovery. So there is a countdown on a screen to watch with MDLL's live price. I'll be back before the IPO goes live. I'm not getting it. I think it's already live. Okay. Love to Leah. Yes. Am I right in thinking Warren Buffett's be greedy when others are fearful? Yes. So when we are in that fearful stage, not only is it the time where the market's probably going to go down further, that is still the time I'm looking to buy. The reason I mentioned the first point where it's probably the time it's going to go down further is because I don't want you to think actually it's an extreme fear, it's not going to go down any further, buy now. But it does mean you're going to probably bottom out in that extreme fear stage. So I'd like to buy when other people are fearful. So yeah, it could apply to the extreme. It could apply. Not yet. We could certainly go lower on that fear index as well. Do you agree with Tom Lee that Bitcoin could be at all-time highs end of January, early Feb? Is that what he changed? I thought it was end of the year. Could it be? Yeah, certainly could be. Is there official information when will Japan buy its own bonds? It will be in the newsletter tomorrow. I don't think it's fear, it's anticipation of macro condition. Can interpret it in different ways. Media digesting and data recovery says XRP would rise due to the Japanese using XRP as a preferred transfer protocol. Incorrect. Not anytime soon. Ricardo says, good morning, banana heads. My MSG was covered, so I'm going to type it in again. My message was covered. Oh, sorry, Ricardo. Yeah, please type it in again. Carry trade will 100% send XRP through the roof. Ridiculous. If you are planning on holding long term, whatever happens, if you're planning on holding long term, whatever happens now is irrelevant, sort of. But you also do want to take advantage of if you can sell and buy back lower, or you want to take advantage of a dip. But yeah, in theory, I mean, who's going to care whether you bought XRP at $2.30, $2.50, $1.50 if you expect XRP to be at $10 or $50 in 5 years' time? For PXG 1500, not complaining, just wanted to check long-term fundamentals of following gold as complementing long-term holding. Yeah, I don't know. There's no point looking at the chart analysis for the coin because it's the same as gold, and we've done gold chart analysis. I'll show you gold's thought. I'll show you my thoughts on gold. It's more just why are you choosing the crypto rather than putting it into a tax advantage account or buying the physical asset. What was it? USD. Actually, I'm just going to look at gold. It's the same thing. CFDs on gold. So yeah, this is what we look at for gold. I'm bullish on gold. We literally caught the bottom as well. Everyone said it's going to continue to crash. I said we're going to bottom out. We're going to go below this slightly, but we're going to bottom out around $4,000. And what do? We bottomed out around $4,000. Now approaching the top again. Yeah, I'm bullish on gold. I think we'll hit to 4,750. Yes, it has already pumped a lot, but over the long term, it should still do well. I mean, with all the Federal Reserve buying, with all the money being printed, of people wanting a safe store of value, with the BRICS countries going on gold. Gold, essentially, actually, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, and I think about it quite often. I don't like Bitcoin that much, in all honesty. I understand its purpose, and it'll probably just go up because everyone will want to allocate a little bit to Bitcoin as part of someone's portfolio, but it's really not that great. I mean, what's actually better than Bitcoin? Digital gold. We can stop calling Bitcoin digital gold and just have digital gold, which we're starting to have. I mean, what's the difference between Bitcoin and digital gold? They're both going to be divisible. Gold is more likely to be treated like money than Bitcoin is. So all the Bitcoin maxis arguments that you can't take gold over the borders with you, you can't take a kilogram of gold. Well, you can send it across if you had tokenized gold. What else do they say? They say Bitcoin is currency. People get paid in Bitcoin. Well, actually, they get denominated in dollars. Here's your $100,000 salary. We'll pay it to you in Bitcoin. No one ever says, here's one Bitcoin. We're going to pay you one Bitcoin a year, because they don't know what that is in dollars. Everything's in dollars. So Bitcoin really isn't money. Gold has at least been money in the past. Gold is divisible, just like Bitcoin is. They say Bitcoin's divisible. You can have Satoshis. Well, gold can be as divisible. The only argument they really have is Bitcoin's. There's only 21 million. Gold, I mean, it's a limited supply. I mean, there's not going to be gold forever, but yes, you can mine and suddenly discover more. But that's the only argument they really have, the 21 million Bitcoin. But is that enough? I mean, gold has everything. I mean, just digitized gold, which people are already doing, tokenizing gold, redeemable gold. I think, I mean, why buy fake digital gold when you can actually buy digital gold? So I still like gold. I like gold. I think it's going to be digitized. I think it's going to be tokenized. Um, uh, Bitcoin, I think it will still have a part in people's portfolios until there might be a point where everyone just stops believing in Bitcoin. The only reason Bitcoin goes up is the name that everyone knows, and it's a cryptocurrency, and it's probably just going to be allocated to people's portfolios. But yeah, I prefer something like XRP, real utility, real value, and I like gold because that's been money for what, 4,000 years. And it's got all the benefits of Bitcoin, apart from there's a certain limited supply. There is a limited supply of gold. We just don't know what that limited supply is. Anyway, love gold. It's probably going to continue on an uptrend. It's already gone up a lot, so that obviously the risk to reward isn't as good as it used to be. We were looking at this at 1,500, 1,600. The risk we looked at it at the breakout 2,400 earlier in January of 2025, very bullish. Then we looked at the breakout in July of 2025, very, very bullish. Now again, the risk reward is getting worse, but I still think 4,700, and I still have that target of $10,000, potentially 2027, 2028. Technical analysis would suggest let's test the top of this to 4,381, and if we break out, then that could be the move that takes us to 4,700. Lower we finish this cycle, higher the upside we can have in 2026 for midterm year. The lower we finish this year, the higher the upside. That's a very strange take. The lower we finish, the higher we finish, the base will be higher. If we finish lower, the base is lower. If we finish higher, the base is higher. I don't quite understand that specific way of thinking about it. William Meyer says, good evening, everyone. For sure, Sensei. They're amazing supporters. Yes, they are. And David Hensley, you're literally #1 supporter. So we thank you very much. And very knowledgeable. Yes, they are. Crypto Crusader says, thoughts about investing in companies such as TDTH that are starting XRP treasuries. I like the idea, but some of those companies are in bad balance sheet situations. There's Vivo Power, WeBus. What's this one? TDTH. Trident. Trident. Let me remember. What do I know about Trident? Not much, actually. I remember the name, but yeah, I guess it's just because they have an XRP treasury. I think could be part of a balanced portfolio. I wouldn't say no to them, but they are pretty risky because they have all the other risks of being a company. Yeah, currently 4.0. I will, again, portfolio challenges starting. I'm so excited to get your guys' opinions on stocks. I'm so excited to start researching stocks live on the show. I'm so excited to be able to have that journal in the newsletter. But what I'm going to be starting off with is researching all bonds. Then I'll start looking at investments. Is it going to be the Mag 7? Probably not for now. It's going to be sort of a high risk, high reward portfolio. Well, then I'll start looking at, let me have a look. Let me do a deep dive on all the XRP treasuries. Which one looks to be in the most sound position and undervalued? Then I'll allocate that to portfolio. Which of these space companies do I want to be allocated to? I'll look at SBC. What levels do I want to buy it? Where do I put my limit orders? What robotics companies do I want to be exposed to? Then I would look at robotics. What AI companies do I think I want to be exposed to? I'll do a whole research piece on AI. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, I don't want anyone to follow me, but all the research will be very valuable to everyone. Human Being Liz says, Sensei Live, you make me laugh. The client didn't. Oh, oops. His chair was not so practical and I hurt, but I can still type. Will be better tomorrow. Thanks, David Hensley. Thanks. But you guys are great too. Oh, okay. Sorry, the client didn't. Sorry. Thank you, Liz. Short, baby, short. Interesting. Good luck. Sorry, I've lost the chat. Do you think there'll be a crash this Friday? Do I personally think there'll be a crash this Friday? And by a crash, obviously we're talking crash. I mean, crash is 10% and over. No, there can be. I mean, there is a significant event happening Friday morning in the UK, Thursday night, and that is the Japan interest rate. But it's priced in that it's going to go up. What's not priced in is how high it's going to go and what they say. So if there is a chance we have a crash because there is a big event happening, just like CPI. There could be a crash tomorrow because we've got Thursday CPI. Nothing too significant about the specific Bank of Japan, apart from it is just an important day to day. And there is a carry trade issue that doesn't have to unwind this week and probably won't. So do I think there's going to be a crash this Friday? No more than a normal day to day. No more than a normal day to day. So probably not. Car accidents every day. Look at the thumbnails. Hi Sensei, how do you think silver and gold will react to a carry trade? Well, bad. Everything, all risk on assets or all equities, stocks, gold, crypto, they won't react well. Why? Well, because people borrowed money to buy these assets, gold, silver, stock market, Magnificent Seven, crypto, because they're getting it from a bank that was paying you to take money at some points and also just giving it to free money. Imagine you just had an ATM, 0% interest. I mean, if I had access to 0% interest for 10 years, what would I do? I'd just borrow as much as I can and just invest it in bonds. I mean, as simple as that. Earn 4%, or take a little bit of it, invest in XRP, take some of that, invest in gold and silver, because I've got access to free money. So that's what people were doing. They were borrowing money for free, buying gold, buying silver, buying equities, buying bonds, buying US dollars, buying crypto. And what will they start needing to do now? Pay back those loans and deleverage and sell all of those assets. So if we have a big carry trade unwind, not only is it the fundamentals that they need to repay the loans on those specific assets they bought, but also just the deleveraging event of other people that weren't exposed to carry trade, but because everyone's selling, they'll be cascading liquidations across the board. Everything will crash. But gold and silver will crash less. Potentially. I mean, they're very overextended now, so we can still have some big volatile days on gold and silver as well. Do you like TDTH? I haven't looked at it enough. David Hensley, and very knowledgeable. Me, no. I feel a gambler soon. Matty Go says, I think we will crash in during the market sometime today. I don't doubt there's a crash coming. I mean, I'm bearish on the extending of the spending on AI. I'm bearish on equities being so high above their price to earnings. That's what I'm bearish about, and that's why I think there's going to be it crash at some point. I wouldn't say it's going to be based off what Bank of Japan are going to do on Thursday. I've lost 4K up all. Sorry to hear. Please, if people are losing money, just learn from your mistakes and don't make those mistakes again. Did you lose because you FOMO'd in? Did you lose because you panic sold? Did you lose because you didn't research what you were doing? Did you lose because you listened to a YouTuber? Just understand why you lost and don't do it again. At least you've paid for a lesson at that point. Try bring down 40K. Sorry to hear that. David Hensley says, you won't be a gambler for all your life since you're coming here and sticking it out. I would start off by listening to these guys, research that, and then build on that and do your own research. That is perfect advice, David. High energy investments, morning, Lucas and Sensei 8. Lucas and Sensei 8. Thank you very much. High energy investments. Google Eyes, blessings to Leah. Hope things go well. Yes. Crapman, sorry to hear. Crazy game. Yes, love to Leah. We need Sensei and Vaz emojis for the members. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Matt says, in the last 3 months, I'm down $800. Learn from your mistake. Everyone goes, I mean, investing, you're not just going to be up all the time. I mean, you're not even the best investor in the world. It's up all the time. That's why it's called long-term investing. You go through the dips and you have the good days. But yeah, if there's anything specific that made you do that, if you're too over leveraged with crypto, or if you've only got crypto, then learn from your mistakes and take it as a lesson. Do you hold the S&P? Will you sell it in expectation for the carry trade? Not anymore. I mean, I don't want to make this carry trade too big of a deal. It's not really that. In the sense of the issue at hand, it's just like it's like the US debt issue. It's a massive problem. It's 120% of the GDP of US. They're just constantly spending at one point, and they just keep raising that debt ceiling. It's a serious concern, but I'm not going to not invest in the markets because I'm always worried about the debt ceiling. To a lesser extent, the Japan carry trade, because the Japan carry trade is more likely to unwind in the next couple years. But I'm not going to be invested because I'm always fearful of the Japan carry trade. So in answer to your question, I'm not going to sell because of the Japan carry trade. I'm going to sell. That might be one of the reasons I might be more in bonds at the moment, more in cash on the side. You might want to say money markets. It's one of the factors why I'm not all in invested, but it's not really the be all and end all. Tilray looks good. H8 4L Shields. Trump to sign cannabis bill today. There is something very late at night happening with Trump, 9 p.m. Eastern time or something like that. But I don't know if that's about the cannabis bill. Rob Brennan says, I have been learning about crypto and understanding Bitcoin selling point as a store of value and digital gold. How are Ethereum and XRP different? Well, Ethereum is essentially like it's Web3, so people build on Ethereum. All these apps are created on Ethereum. Ethereum is the backbones of it. XRP is a payment solution. It's a cross-border payment solution. They've got a company called Ripple backing them and creating new use cases for the XRP ledger. Tokenization is coming to XRP ledger. Real-world assets is coming to the XRP ledger. They've got systems in place to help banks with cross-border payments, and XRP is used as liquidity. So they've all got their different sort of niches and what they do. Bitcoin is very much the old dumb technology. Doesn't mean you shouldn't invest in it. It just means that's the simplest sense of it, of a crypto. They will sign the cannabis thing tonight. I read, but both Tilray back just now. Let's see. Hu Ming Liz, Google says so. Bishop David Black says, good morning, Sensei. I'm enjoying the show as always. Do you think XRP... Oh, thank you very much, Bishop David Black. If people actually enjoy the show, it makes me feel really good. Because it's very hard. Like, I do feel the sense that all of you are here, but I don't know. Are you actually enjoying it? Are you just watching because there's nothing else? Am I doing a good job explaining things? Well, it's hard to tell. So I appreciate the comments when we get it. I'm enjoying the show as always. Thank you. Do you think XRP will go under $1.50? Also, what's your thoughts on Zcash? We covered the SEC yesterday, the day before. Sorry, it was Monday. Yeah, they invited someone from Zcash. It seemed pretty interesting. I haven't done my research into it yet, but initially, it's now on my watch list. Not many things make their way onto my watch list, but it's on my watch list. So unfortunately, not too many thoughts on that. Do you think XRP will go under $1.50? Under $1.50? I think earlier in the show I said I give probably a, if we're in a bear market, I give a 70% chance that we will go down to $1.50 and under $1.50, $1.49 probably. It depends if we're in a bear market or not. I'm heavily prepared to go under $1.50. It's certainly very possible. Do I think it will happen? Well, that's the question. Do I think we're in a bear market? I haven't given an answer yet. I've said if I had to choose, 3 months ago I came out and said this. I'm 60% sure we're in a bear market, 55% sure we're in a bear market. Same goes to this. If we're in a bear market, I'm 60%, 55% sure we'll hit $1.50 and go under. With all due respect, you do not know what you're talking about. XRP will rise due to the Japanese carry trade. Mark my words. So media digitizing data recovery. On Friday, are you going to come here? And if XRP hasn't risen a significant amount, are you going to come here and apologize? When will you admit you're wrong? Because I appreciate you said with all due respect, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, you're saying that to the 100% of every single analyst out there in the world. No one is looking at this and going, XRP is the one that's going to benefit and rise. So anyway, ignore that. I don't have time for it. What I'm going to ask is, when will you admit you're wrong? And I don't want to troll you back. I'm just genuinely asking, at what point, because you need to admit you're wrong at one point. If you are wrong, let's say you are, at what point will you admit you're wrong? On Friday, when XRP doesn't go through the roof? When will you admit that the XRP hasn't risen due to the Japan carry trade? Let me know. I'm shorting Zcash to $25. And if you think genuinely, if XRP was going to go up due to Japan carry trade, everyone knows the carry trade is going to unwind at some point. Why the hell isn't XRP at $10 already? If it's going to go to $1,000 or $100, do you think there's not enough clever people in the world that are billionaires that would look at it and go, actually, if the carry trade unwinds, XRP is going to benefit so much. I can make a 10x, 100x, 1000x. I might as well put $1 million in or $1 billion in. You don't think people are smarter than me and you and understand this more? You have to follow the money. You can't just make things up. But anyway, so just let me know, when will you admit you're wrong? I'm shorting Zcash to $25 in 2026. I'm shorting Zcash to $25 in 26 when I close my short. Good luck to you, Matty Ghost. Thank you so much, so hang in MSOS. Let me just check this. Okay. When precisely? Oh, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. If anyone hasn't got the newsletter, can I just talk about the newsletter for 1 second, just in case there's anyone new here? Or tomorrow we're doing look. I want you guys to be educated on the carry trade. I want you guys to understand it, so you don't go around saying things that aren't true. And even if you think you know about it, you will learn more from it. Tomorrow, we're spending. Yesterday I started it. Today I'm going to carry on with it. Tomorrow it's going to be released. It's about, all in all, about 14 hours, 15. Actually, there's 2 of us. I don't know. Maybe close to maybe 18 hours of research going into this. So 18 hours of research to fully unwind and understand, pardon the pun, fully understand what is going on with Japan and the carry trade. As part of the newsletter, you get the cheat sheets for FOMCs and CPI. Oh, thank you, David Hensley. Look at that. Supporting the shirt. So kind.
At David Hensley 3009 donated $2 through a super chat. Sensei, good job handling that troll.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So yeah, tomorrow there's going to be full research based off the carry trade. Before, we've done cheat sheets for last week's FOMC. Everyone loved it. It was a bit different that time because it was actually a cheat sheet. You could, this is what Jerome Powell says, be careful of this when he says this, look at this chart. This time it's harder to do that because firstly he's speaking in Japanese, and also the US markets aren't open when this happens. So it's actually a bit more focused around education, but also it's going to have all 5 of my charts, what I'm going to be doing, all of that sort of stuff as well, but not specific wording to look out for and put into your algorithm. What we're looking at is a full deep dive cheat sheet for the carry trade unwind. Everything about, and we're going to make it really simple so you fully understand it. After you read that, it's about going to be a 10-minute read. After you read it, you will absolutely understand everything about the carry trade. You'll know how to potentially trade it. You won't be losing money because you'll know the real truth around it. And that will be coming out tomorrow. And that's just one of the perks you get with a carry trade. Right now, we're running 25% off. If you haven't got the newsletter yet, I think the 25% off even applies to the monthly plan. So you can get it, see what it is like tomorrow, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't like it. Not many people unsubscribe because they love it. So what else do you get? Well, you're getting that tomorrow because of there'll be a specific XRP section, unwinding section. When is it going to happen? What to look out for? All of that. Fully explaining the yen, the specific currency move. All of that's going to be in the newsletter. In fact, I've already got the outline for the newsletter. We've started the research, so let me tell you a bit more about it. Yeah, Bank of Japan sheet. Yeah, you're going to have all the timings exactly when everything goes on. I'm going to explain to you why the timing's a little bit different and a table of when it's been before. There's going to be a small reminder that if the longer, and we're actually going to keep that for the newsletters, something that you'll be able to understand just by the timing of when they release the decision. It's not the same as the US. You'll have exactly the decision, what's priced in, what will happen if there's a hike of 50%, or if there's a hold, and the probabilities of it all. You're going to have the deep dive section specifically. Let me actually just go down here. Yeah, you're going to have the carry trade is going to be explained to you in the first section. What else do we have? We've got the rough guide here. I don't want to give too much away. Exactly how much is borrowed, that will blow your mind. Yeah, so you have the decision, the scenarios, the market reaction. You're going to have what the priced in paradox. Is it all priced in or is it not priced in? I'm going to explain that to you exactly. We're going to research the previous unwind and everything to do with that. The statement itself, what to watch for, the XRP correlation, does it come and save the day? And you already know my answer, but I'll explain to you exactly why it won't save the day. Anyway, that's just one thing you're going to get tomorrow. In addition to your daily newsletter, the market headlines, the top stock movers, the ad-free experience, my thoughts on everything every single day, the charts of the day every single day. You're going to get 5 charts with that report tomorrow. You're going to have the deep dive research every day. You've got the specialist emerging tech. We're going to have experts writing that. Exclusive XRP crypto report. Now you get a weekly XRP newsletter as well. You can message me one-on-one DM. Financial planning tools. You're going to have the budget planner, debt planner at the beginning of 2026. You're going to have full access to the portfolio insights app. That's a lot of research and development going into that right now. The chart training course, again, beginning of 2026. All of that is going to be in the newsletter. This is completely different to all other newsletters, often much more expensive, often have overwhelming level of noise, often, well, they always have corporate sponsors that make them say specific things. Over complex, confusing. They use most of the time their newsletters are AI generated, which is crazy in my opinion. But anyway, there's also a free version of the newsletter as well. So go and check it out. Let me turn that off there. Let me put the link in. Let me put the link in the live chat as well. If you haven't got the newsletter yet, right now, 25% off. Let's continue with these questions. We're asking any questions about the Bank of Japan, carry trade, anything else you have as well. Let me get through these comments. When precisely will the carry Thank you. We've got a special guest on the show.
At Iberian Wolf 3682 donated £5 through a super chat. Hi Sensei, can you have a quick look at Con 3? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I've just had a quick look at it. It's a 3x long ETF. So you're going to be paying a lot of money to just keep a trade open here. You are at, I mean, if we're just doing strictly technical analysis, um, I don't know too much about the fundamentals of this specific 3x leverage tool. I just know you're going to be paying a lot for it, and it's designed for short-term trades rather than long-term holds. If you're looking at technicals, just if I'm looking at a chart, you are certainly at a level of support. But if you do break below this $2.50 level, you can very quickly come back down to 171. So it's very risky. 3x on Coinbase. Please be careful with it. It's not designed for long-term holds. But yeah, you are at support, so I don't want to put you off it because, I mean, there is a chance you get a sudden jump, even if you are going to go lower. But yeah, very, very risky. Very risky. Good luck to you. I can't give you too much more technical analysis apart from that we're at support and you might get a sudden move up to maybe $3, $3.40. And if you break $2.50, you have to be prepared for closer to $1. When precisely will the carry trade be? When precisely will the carry trade be like time after market open, and how, and after how, and after how do you determine XRP over Ethereum or Bitcoin if you have no preference stock wise? Which stock gets hit the hardest? Wow, I think we have to, unpack unpack this question. When precisely will the carry trade be like time before open after? Very unlikely we're going to get carry trade unwind this week. That's what I'll firstly say. Secondly, the only way we'll get that, well, I'll explore in the newsletter and report back to you tomorrow. But so far, what I think is the main way you'll get it is if the governor comes out, not raise his rate, because we already expect that. It's more if he forecasts more rate hikes than expected. And if he does that, then it will happen pretty quickly after. Crypto will go down and the markets will open Friday morning down. How do you determine XRP over Ethereum or Bitcoin, or if you have no preference? I personally prefer, my preference in cryptocurrencies is XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Why? Because I think XRP is the most undervalued, most suppressed, and has the most utility. Stock-wise, which stock gets hit the hardest? It'll probably be the one that's most over leveraged, and has been up with previously. I mean, there's thousands of stocks out there. I don't know which one it would be, but if we're talking about major stocks, something like maybe a crypto-related stock, MicroStrategy, maybe something like that. Elon can mine some asteroids for gold. Yeah, he can do, but I don't think that's on the top of his to-do list. I'm shorting XRP. Also, the Moon Boys that didn't understand TA are my friends. I think gold at this price becomes high risk play. It's becoming, the risk reward is less for gold. I mean, what's best case scenario now is maybe a double. What was a year ago was a 4-5x. So risk reward is getting worse. Yeah. I have money ready to spend on XRP if it goes under 165, which right now is right below my average price. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that's good. Gold and silver stocks. And gold and silver stocks and ETFs runs great. Oh, ETFs run great. Brilliant. Sorry, the chat just jumped again. Yeah, they've had good runs. Anyone have any thoughts on Oracle? An overreaction, do you think? It's an overreaction, probably, but it's this whole idea. If you look at the one big thing today in the newsletter, it's just so much spending going on. And what Oracle did, they basically hit their expectations, were fine. The issue was big spending boost again. Or what was it, 50 billion? Borrowing money to invest again. At some point, that can become dangerous. So I'm not sure. Is it an overreaction? Is it not? I'm not looking to buy it right now. Sorry, this is lagging slightly for some reason. ETFs crypto starts running next year like a light switch. I hope so. Who else is bleeding? Okay, I don't know what that means. I'm really considering selling my silver and putting it into a Roth for the 3% match. I mean, you can do, can't you? You can sell your silver, make sure you get a good price for it, Make sure it's above spot price at least. And then you get your 3% match, and you can buy silver within your Roth, can't you? Again, not financial advice, but that's an option. Hello, high energy. Good thing you say you about waiting. Hello, high energy. Good thing you say about waiting. Rob Brennan says, using Virgin Galactic's own figures, the current market cap of 190 million is crazy low, but just whether they can execute and stick to timelines. Yeah, but again, that's high reward, high risk. Better Wellness, you shouldn't go into buying that company and going, this is the only investment I'm having, and this is a significant part of my portfolio. It should be, if you are looking for high risk investments, it's, in my opinion, shaping up to be a pretty good one. Plenty of things have a limited supply doesn't mean price only increases. If people get fed up with and lose interest, can be worthless. Yes, but it's annoying because I don't think it'll ever be worthless. I don't think Bitcoin will ever be worthless, even though I don't like the utility. I like what it's standard for to begin with, but it doesn't really stand for that anymore. I don't like Bitcoin maximalists. I don't like people still pretending that Bitcoin Lightning system works. I don't like the fact that what it was built to do doesn't function. But what I think will happen, just because it was the first cryptocurrency ever, that's just people want exposure to crypto, they'll buy Bitcoin. That'll just be a part of everyone's portfolio, and that will just mean it goes up in the future. What if they were working out? What if they're working out the Japanese interest rate hike behind the scenes and nothing happens? Remember, Trump's ego is way too big for a market crash. What if they're working out the Japanese interest hike behind the scenes? They wouldn't be working out with the US though. The only thing they can hope from the US is not to increase tariffs, but that they're still going to increase rates nonetheless. They're changing their policy. They're not going to flip back on it. Trump's ego is way too big for a market crash. It wouldn't be like I don't think he'll worry about a flash crash. He'll just blame Japan and the US economy is great, and then we'll go back up again potentially. Facebook started crashing after they stopped their AI from generating anything. It's basically useless now. Censorship is why TikTok took over and Facebook lose again. Yeah, Chinese companies are really gaining speed right now. I mean, I don't think anyone realizes how big of a giant China is. I mean, if you go and see some of the cities in China, they are so far ahead of the US or UK, any other country, in Dubai, any other country in the world. China is 10 years ahead. Their technology is 5 years ahead. Their buildings are 10 years ahead. Their manufacturing is, I mean, no one can catch up to their manufacturing. It's just a monster of a country, and their companies are doing well. Rob Brennan says, I don't understand why the carry trade is such a big deal. If I had a 0% loan and went up to 0.5%, it's basically free money. Japan aren't going to raise by 300 basis points. The issue is how far they're going to raise. They might raise up until 2%, 2.5%. And then as soon as we get indication of that, there's no point people borrowing interest rates at 2.5%, leveraging up in the US, paying extra to leverage up. It doesn't make sense to borrow that money anymore. So they'll have to deleverage, sell their US dollars. The US dollar goes down because they're selling the US dollar. They go and buy Japan's yen. They raise up the prices there, and essentially that's how the unwind starts, because there's a massive deleveraging event. It's not just because it's gone from 0.0 to 0.25%. It's because it's just gradually going up, and how high are they going to go? The higher they go, the bigger the unwind will be. This person needs to stop saying that word. Yolanda says, your thoughts, please, on MDLN IPO set, please, Sensei. It's all in the deep dive today. I think I've left it for Martyn to cover, but we can cover it if Martyn won't be live. When's Martyn going to be live? I mean, not cover the IPO, cover the news around it. I'll analyze the stock ASAP. Yeah, Martyn's just said in his chat he's going to analyze the stock ASAP, so I'll leave that. It's in the newsletter today, so maybe he will use that. Your thoughts, please. It looks cool. It looks good. IPOs, however, it's just never really something I get too excited about. You normally see better pricing than IPOs over time. But I know this is a big giant IPOing, biggest IPO of 2025. I'd rather analyze it after it comes out, how much demand was there, did we stay above the IPO price and then make a decision? Could crash this week and have a Santa rally next week. Yeah, can do. They are going to pull money out slow. You're going to pull money out slow. I mean, they've got no choice. If the unwind happens, it's not about slow. It's about ASAP, and then people get leverage called and all sorts. So it's people start panicking. Then you have the deleveraging event as well as the unwinding event. I mean, it's not going to be slow. It'll be quick if it properly unwinds. Over time, right now it's slow, but one thing can trigger it to speed up quickly. Do you think healthcare and customer staples are good as risk hedge in event of a carry trade? Yeah, if you still want to be invested in the market, but they're still going to get hit. I mean, everything's going to get hit on the day. I'm going to have a piece in the newsletter tomorrow about the previous carry trade, and in fact, I'm going to write a note there. I'm going to see what sectors reacted, but I'm pretty sure everything would have gone down. They might have been the quickest to recover. They would have gone down less, I would think. So yes, it is kind of a hedge, but would I buy it as a hedge? I mean, not if I don't want to be investing in those companies anyway. I'll just have bonds. XRP seems to be a joke anymore, and that's your opinion. Can you stop using? It's not even funny they're using that word. It's just weird, clavish. All the hype and no change. I do hold many guess. I guess I was expecting more by now. Yeah, unfortunately, there's YouTubers out there that will tell you it's going to go to the moon. We give realistic expectations. Just dipping in and out. Hello, Vaz. How you doing? Hey, Vaz. Bye, Vaz. Zach says Santa Claus carry trade. Does Santa sell his sleigh? Hello, Zach. How are you? How is your dad? Yes. How's your dad? XRP and Ethereum are basically protocols. I think I have seen in IT for years, and crazy how they're monetized these protocols. Thank you. Hit that like button and subscribe. Oh, look at that. Thank you, the main vein. Very much appreciate that. Yes, please do listen to him. Hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, I don't comment much, but I really enjoy watching a show and feel you explain things well. Thank you for all your hard work. Oh, thank you very much, Christolia8617. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone in the background who just watches and doesn't comment. I love it. Oh, he have a release day. That sounds good. Bless you. Thank you. We're in a debt cycle. Yes, I hope and pray at media's right. Hello, what about H-Bun Flare going down? Yeah, altcoins, they'll go down. I've always said, if we're in a bear market, these will go down no matter how good the coin is. They will, I mean, everything will go down. Those tokens are more likely to go down 90%. And again, that's why I don't buy them every 5-10% they dip. Every 50% they dip, I'll look into adding to my position. H8-4L shields, it might be time for me to add into my position. HB4L shields, as a business, always busy. I find it easier to get information from the Lucas aids. Thanks for all the quick info. Thank you so much. Have you seen the news in Google is going to collaborate with Bitcoin miner Hut8? No, I haven't. Yes, you're doing a good job. Ari, feedback considering doing a poll following your session by end of the day or week. Ari, feedback consider doing a poll following your session by end of the day or week. Add also another option to choose people what are missing. What's this in reference to? Where do you want this poll? In the newsletter or in the thing? I don't know. In here, yes, he have it in the newsletter. Thank you, human being Liz. High energy investments. Yes, you have it in the newsletter. Oh, I will put it in the newsletter. If it comes up, I'll put it in the newsletter. Yes, high energy investments. Can we hear at Media Thieves of how the carry trade will make XRP explode? Yeah, please let us know. Thank you for the super chat, David Hensley. There's the newsletter link. Why crash? It's already crashed. Anyone feeling? Oh God, can you stop saying? Can we sort of just if you keep saying clavish in the chat, it's just an annoying word. I think it's just because I don't like the word. Just please stop saying that. 10 trillion. No, I think he's referring to that other YouTuber. Sense, can you have a quick look at Con 3? Yeah, we had a look. Let me just refresh this. I think we're lagging a little bit here. Woohoo, I was 100th like this morning. Sorry I was late. No worries, bounce back. Thanks for making it. If you haven't hit the like button, guys, please do hit the like button and please do subscribe. What else? Who else heard that Powell will be making an urgent address in about 20 minutes? He's not making an urgent address in about 20 minutes. That's fake news. Please get the newsletter. If Powell's talking, we'll have it in there. Fake news, fake news, fake news. We're having a few Fed speakers this morning. I think Fed Waller's already spoken, but no, there's no urgent address in 20 minutes by Fed Jerome Powell. I'd love if there was, because that would give us a good show. I'm just seeing if there's any other Fed speakers talking today. Let's see what else is going on in the markets today. Fed Williams speech. No, that's already happened. Who do we have next? We've got... No, all the Fed speeches are done. Jerome Powell didn't speak today. Just a few members of the board spoke today. The Japanese will be utilizing XRP for the carry trade sensor. Oh, I thought you would have known that. You thought I would have known that. Did you reply to my question? Fed Waller is live shortly. I thought Fed Waller had already spoken. Let me have a look. Fed Waller is live shortly. Let me have a look at this. I think he's already spoken. Let me have a look. Let me go to the Federal Reserve website. Federal Reserve website. Seventeenth. Here we go. Jay Waller is speaking now. Now? He's on CNBC. Let me have a look. Bear with me. I think Fed Waller's speaking right now. I think he's live right now. Let's go to it. This is Fed Waller Q&A. Phil, you can't send links, unfortunately. Sorry, you can't hear this, can you? What's going on? 1 second, I apologize. You can't hear it.
The highest projections from the beginning. And that is what is then driving the demand, the data center, the energy, the chips, the semiconductors.
Sorry about this. You can't hear it. Let me see what we can do here. Why is it not capturing audio?
Your earlier comments on labor, I do think that this is a
you can hear it now?
issue,
can everyone hear it?
And bigger than maybe not all, but some policymakers have realized.
The Nobel Prize winner in physics, by the way, last month on quantum computing, as you know, was a Yaley. So we're very proud about that. But also the term irrational exuberance actually didn't originate with the Fed, but that was also a Yaley and a Nobel Prize winner that coined that term. Any response to that?
To Arvind or you?
Either one.
What's that, Arvind? I mean,
can you hear?
There's a huge debate about is the slowing labor market and low job growth because of cutting off immigration at the border, reverse migration out of the U.S. Is it all labor supply or is it labor demand? I have some of my colleagues are much more on the labor supply side, that it's all labor supply. If it's all labor supply and demand is there, then we know what happens. Jobs will go down, but wages should start going up. Vacancies should start going up. Workers should start saying jobs are available. Firms should be saying it's harder to hire. Now, if it's all labor demand, jobs will go down. There'll be downward pressure on wages. Vacancies will start going away. Workers will be saying it's harder to find jobs, and firms will be saying it's easy to hire workers, and people won't be leaving their jobs. That's the data. So it's not labor supply and immigration that is causing these soft job numbers. That's contributing, I agree. But all the other data should tell you very clearly this is all labor demand is much softer and is more responsible for what's going on. So that's critical. And when people have said, well, that's just because people aren't leaving. I haven't heard a CEO saying, I just wish all my people would leave so I could go hire more. That's not why they're hiring. It's firms don't need it. And they're just waiting for you to leave, but everybody's afraid for their jobs. I'm dead serious. I talked to home builders. They were saying the biggest reason people are not buying homes, they're worried about losing their jobs now. You're not going to make the biggest purchase of your life and then turn around in 3 months and lose your job. It's not about the interest rates. Price matters, but it's really like, am I guaranteed I'm going to be able to make the payment in 6 months? And that's what people are scared of.
No, as you've just heard, quite a wide array of extemporaneous responses, with no teleprompter, no PowerPoint, no back of the envelope, but a spontaneous discussion on a wide range of issues. I want to congratulate you for, and Chris, and all of you for asking these great questions. You might say that the conversation.
Unfortunately, I'm getting messages from my wife. She wants me to go and have lunch. I do apologize. I just didn't. I didn't foresee this happening, so I apologize. That is Governor Waller speaking. It's not going to move the markets. However, he's not sort of allowed to say anything right now. But we will. He could say interesting things, unfortunately, but I can't cover it. If you do want to see it, then it's on the Fed's website. Let me just quickly go through these last comments. Glad to hear that your dad's doing well, Zach. Do a live trade, Sensei. I will soon enough. I mean, it will be on the Portfolio Challenge. This is Fed John Williams. Oh, oops. Is that John Williams? Fed John Williams. Yeah, I think Fed Waller did his speech earlier. No, this is Fed Waller speaks. It says Fed Waller. It looks like Fed Waller. Let me have a look. Fed Waller. Yeah, that's Fed Waller. Who's Fed Williams? Is that the other guy? Fed Williams. Fed Williams. Who's the other guy?
The answer right now until it gets cleared through, but
this is interesting.
People are answering quickly. Not as quickly as you answered the last one, but quickly. And Stephen, can you just check and make sure it didn't get jumbled? And
can't look.
Oh, as we did it in elementary school, we should ask one person in the room to put his head down, right? Oh, put it back up. You just had it. There it is. This is.
All right.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Chris, we'll find those people that didn't vote for you.
It's up to you, Mooch.
Already, my colleagues want to know that we messed
Everyone
it up.
wants Chris Waller. Everyone wants Chris Waller.
If you felt this way before you heard all this, could you put up the next question and see if you come out the same way?
No.
Definitely put your head down on this one. Yeah.
I've seen these before.
I might have one small one here.
Is there a problem with the Florida ballots? Okay. Oh. Hey, you know what? It's still you can look, Sarah. It's okay.
Don't know if I want to. Yeah, that looks about right.
That worked. Yes, and congratulations. As Arvin, I should mention in your comment that in the 115-year history of your company, I never got to know Edward Hollerith or Tom Sr., but I did know Tom Jr. onward in every one of your successors right through your great reign. This, like many companies in the room, for the Bolsheviks in the room to understand this.
Anyway, that's not who's going to be the Fed chairman, probably. I would like to see Fed Waller there, because I think Fed Waller, it has a balanced approach, and he was also very pro-crypto. However, it's probably going to be Hassett, in my opinion. We'll see. Those are the three people. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's show. Go check out the newsletter. Make sure you get it. Waller is pro-crypto. Yeah, that's Fed Waller on the panel there. Excuse me. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you grab that newsletter. Tomorrow's full carry trade. There's so much fake news going around about it. Let's debunk it all. That's all going to be in the newsletter tomorrow. 25% off now. If you want to go get prepared for that IPO that's coming out later today. This is the biggest IPO in the history of 2025. The biggest IPO of this year. The full deep dive is for premium members only in that newsletter. So go and check it out. Until next time, stay where you are. You'll be redirected to Martyn's show. He is live with the IPO. He'll be back shortly. Our thoughts and prayers are with Martyn and Leah right now, who are in hospital. So do make sure you tune into Martyn when he's back. We are all praying for Leah's speedy recovery. No opening bell. That will be on Martyn's show. He'll be live shortly. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.